CQ, the old friends net. Time for the Thursday edition of the old friends get together. This is W4MEC, your net control for today that finally made the correct time, the wrong day, but correct time. And the old friends net meets 3 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m., Sundays at 5 p.m., same frequency, 3715. And either my counter's off or my crystal is aged a little bit because I'm about 3715.55. But when it comes to vintage gear, that's close enough. The old friends net is carried out in amplitude modulation mode only and in a round table fashion. I will take check-ins throughout the net to get people seated at the table. And let's see what else. A great place to swap gear or to look for some information about something covering just about any subject. So, say this net is open to anyone that can generate an AM regardless of rig type. So, if you would like to participate, please give W4MEC a call. Come now.
Morning, Charlie, W84LLR.
WB4AR. N4LQ.
WB4NKL.
W4KR.
N4AK.
W4WU.
Okie dokie, I got a kind of a mixed mashup there, about 3 in. Let's see if I got it right. We got Dave, WA4LLR, Buddy, WB4ARK, I think, Boone, WA4EVK, I'm not sure, and then Steve, N4LQ, George, K4GDN, Cliff, WB4NKL, Stan, W4KR, Glenn, N4AK, Richard, W4WU, and do we have any further check-ins for round 1?
KZ4 Bravo.
Sorry, my TR function is very slow. All I got was the letter O, I think. Try it again.
KZ4 Bravo.
Oh, it wasn't even an O, it was a Bravo. That wasn't you mixed in with Steve, was it, at the beginning? Or are you checking in for the first time, John?
That was him, and I don't think EVK was here.
I had a double there. I didn't get either one.
KZ4 Bravo. KZ4 Bravo.
Because I don't know if that was Boone or not, so. Okay, one more time. LLR, ARK, 4 Bravo, LQ, GDN, NKL, KR, AK, WU. Any further?
Would you read that again?
Okay, I'll read it backwards. Okay, here we got LLR, ARK, 4 Bravo, LQ, GDN, NKL, KR, AK, and WU. I guess Boone wasn't in there after all. So let's get started. This W4MEC and the old friends net. And after a false start on Tuesday where I was supposed to run the net and I didn't make it because I was too dog tired, we continued on with the flooring, and we got, well, I had ended up stopping about 4:45 yesterday because my wife and I were going out to eat with some friends, so. And we were down to the last 3 boards to put down, and if you ever put down hardwood flooring, the last couple of boards are the most difficult because you can't swing a hammer, and you can't use the nailing or nailing device there, what do you call that thing, you know, that drives those nails at a perfect angle. And only end up face nailing it and gluing, or face nailing a couple boards on the very end. So so I had to leave my son right there with about 2 boards to do, and the room was isn't square. So I can't remember what he measured. It was like 50. When we got down to the last row we stopped at, we had 15 inches on one end and 11 on the other. So, and the room is not square. Nothing is square in that house. So he was going to have to cut some lengthwise there to fill the gap in. But we had done that in another corner that was not square either, but it was only about an inch off. So, another closet corner. So I hope he got it done, and he's going to go rent the sander today and get that thing sanded, and I guess we'll be staining it. So he's got to get it done before the 30th because he's going to Oklahoma for 3 weeks, and his wife comes back today. She's been in Toronto, so that's why he took this time to work on that particular floor, so in the bedroom. So he's almost there. Yeah, that's a story on that, and that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. So it's about 60 degrees here. A cool morning, clear outside. So let's get started with Dave, WA4 LLR, W4 MEC.
Okay, Charlie, fine business, W4 MEC, and the old friends, WA4 LLR. Pretty much similar situation here. We got about 60 degrees, clear, beautiful morning, nice refreshing temperature out there. Running different red run Vacuum Valiant and receiving the F76. Haven't had this one on for quite some time. Good to hear everybody. Good signals this morning. So we'll go ahead and send it on down to Buddy. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay, Dave, very good signal this morning. I'm running a different audio module on the ART13. I'd like some comments on how the audio sounds. The weather is not overcast here, but kind of a light gray sky, but the sun is shining through that. So and the temperature is about 72 here. It's a little cooler this morning, and looks like we're going to have a cool day today, comparatively speaking. I don't envy anyone using a sander to sand a floor. That's a tough job to keep it level and not have any dips or wavy conditions in the floor when you finish. Yeah, I did that many years ago, and that was the only time I actually used a sander to sand a floor. It was a tough job. I was much younger, in my 20s. So actually, we've got this module worked on here, and I would appreciate some comment about the audio. So over to KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK in the group. This is KZ4 Bravo. Fine business, buddy. The audio sounds great to me. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking for as far as the critique, but it does sound good. And talking about sanding floors, I rented a sander to do my screen-in porch back when I had one. We finally closed it in, and to add square footage to the house, and I succeeded in thoroughly destroying the wood floor. It's so bad that I had to replace it. And to me, a sander, floor sander, is up there with a ditch witch. It wants to go every which way but straight and level. And that's my other thing to hate. Shifting gears, I have not cut grass in 2 weeks. Normally, I barely go 6 days, but it is so dry here that it's just unbelievable. Well, I say unbelievable. It's usually this way every summer, and I end up having to fire up the irrigation to bring some green back to the grass so that I can cut it. But anyway, every day I hear static on AM broadcast where storms have gone north or south or maybe in the east, even the west, but nothing here. So that's the weather situation, no rain. And I'm really not complaining because it's, I'd rather not cut grass, but it doesn't, the yard looks extra crispy, to say the least. So, over to Steve. N4LQ and the group KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, N4LQ. All right, well, it's dry here too, John. The rains have been real spotty, and you go down the road and they get an inch of rain, and right here it's dry. So the grass is still green, but it quit growing. And it still looks okay, but I think it's the beginning of a long hot summer here, because looking at the forecast, I don't see any rain until late next week, and temperatures at or above 100 degrees. So things are going to get a little crunchy out there. Right now it's 71. And I'm running the 32V3 75A4 combo. And, well, let's see, Charlie, I remember when I was a kid, we had, our house had beautiful wood floors, and my parents put carpet over it, because that was all the rage back in the 50s. They called it wall-to-wall carpeting, and that was a big thing, man. You get that old wood, and that floor was beautiful oak, and just as shiny and practically new. And they put this old, back then it was wool carpet. That was the big thing, real thin stuff. And they put felt down and then wool over it, and wall-to-wall carpeting. Yep, that was the thing. So over to George, if you're there. I never did hear you, but I hope you can hear me okay. K4GDN, N4LQ.
K4GDN. Yeah, I'm here. I'm a little confused about the order. We're running the Mobile magnet port and feeding the home buoy 11, putting out about 120. About 125 watts. That it's hot down here. It's already in the upper 70s. And I'm kind of wondering about the grass too. We were out of town last week. We were down at Edisto Island, staying in State Park. And I don't know if they cut the grass or not. I won't check with them the next time they come. Anyway, I'm a little confused about where to send it. I'm going to turn it back to Charlie and let him direct where it goes. So Charlie, coming back to you to straighten me out. W4NEC, K4GDN.
Okay, George, it goes to Cliff, WB4NKL.
K4GDN, WB4NKL, with some strange conditions. It's the first time that, George, you've been stronger than Steve. And that's some strange band conditions. You're about 10 over S9, and Steve's about S9. So I guess the band's long. I guess there's a take on that. I got 65 degrees here, and supposed to be warming up to about 90. It's been a wet July. I haven't missed a week mowing the yard, and I could have mowed it more than it needs mowed. I mowed it Monday, and it could stand it right now, but I'm gonna put it off till Monday again. But no slack on the yard this year so far. And buddy, the audio module sounds good. Sounds like all the other ARTs. Good strong audio, so it's working. And so with that, I'll send it on to Stan. Go ahead, Stan. W4KR, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff, thank you. WB4NKL, this is W4KR. Just a minute here. What's the matter? Yeah, I'll have to hold it. I tried to slide the slider up on the G stand and it wouldn't move, so I have to see what's haywire. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Copying everybody fine. Band conditions are strange. George, at the beginning of your signal, at the beginning of your transmission, you were pretty good here. And then W4OB up on 25 came in, and he's splattering 20 kcs wide, took you out. So I didn't get the last part of your transmission. Audio reports, oh boy, that's awful. I refrain from giving audio reports. It's copyable. That's the best I can say about it. I've listened to audio reports given here sometime, and I shake my head at, so I don't want to get into that problem. Richard, W4WU. Richard, thank you so very much for the kind words. Thank you, sir. The family appreciated it, as did I. That'll be my only transmission here this morning. I've got some chores to get at, and I'm going to go do it. Here comes my neighbor, the N4AK. Good morning, young man. W4KR 73. W4KR in the room. Good to see y'all. If anybody has about Bill 79 IX6, I would appreciate it if you pass it on to me. 72 degrees here at sunset, and already sunny this morning. So hadn't had any rain in a couple of days, but otherwise we've had rain every other afternoon. Yesterday I played around up on 20 meters, and while it wasn't super DX anything, it was kind of exciting to work the island of Elba, E-L-B-A, and that was an island that they kept Napoleon on after he lost at Waterloo, I believe it was. So this island apparently has about 30,000 inhabitants normally, but in the summertime, a lot of the rich Italians have summer homes. So this ham that I talked to had a summer home on Elba on the north side of the island, and boy, what a beautiful view of the area that he had. And buddy, audio sounds good to me, very good. And George, you're 15 over 9 in Sunset. Very nice signal today. Richard, nice to hear you on. Still remember what a nice eyeball QSO we had. W4WU N4AK.
Yes, thank you, Glenn. W4WU in the group. Yeah, Glenn, we had a good QSO that day. I enjoyed that. Might have to do that again sometime. I'll come your direction this time. Sam, just glad to do it. Just glad to do it. It's heartfelt. Charlie, talking about your floors. We had oak floors in our previous house that were covered up with carpet. And like somebody said, Steve, I think wool carpet. My daughter had allergies real bad, so somebody suggested, why don't you see if you got a wood under that carpet? And we checked in the corner, and sure enough, there they were. Nice, beautiful oak floors. So the carpet came out and never went back, and we never looked back from that. So we've got some carpet in our house now, in our living room, dining room area, back in the master bedroom. And I would pull it up too, but there's plywood under that carpet. They did put hardwood down under those car rooms. So, like you said, this house was built in 67, so putting down carpet, let's see. That's about all in this first round. I could hardly copy George, just barely in there. And Cliff, you were just rolling in here. Stan, you were too. Glenn was a little bit weaker, but all the other stations were fine. Buddy, your audio sounds just like it always has sounded to me. I didn't detect any change at all. Charlie, I'm not sure if anybody finally checked in after me or not. Thought John was there for a little bit, but he was on further up the group. So back to you, and you can correct it if anybody else is in there. W4MEC, W4WU.
Okay, Richard W4WU and the old friends at W4MEC. Do we have any further check-ins that would like to join us? Come now. That's W4MEC and the old friends net. Real good, fellas. Good round, buddy. That module sounds as excellent as the module that was in it before. So you got two good ones now on that ARC-13. Let's see. Yeah. Well, the sanders have changed for wood floors. I remember the big drum sanders. Those don't exist anymore, and neither do the sanding drums, or the paper that went on that drum. They have a new style sander that's orbital, and when my son told me about it, I said, well, you shouldn't do that. That's going to leave swirl marks. But it's got 3 rotating discs, and all 3 of those rotate on the axis. So I guess that type of pattern prevents swirls in the flooring. So, and I don't know how they level the darn thing. I guess it's kind of like when they use one of those power floats on a big concrete floor or something. I don't know. But he doesn't have to worry about being dead level because it's over a concrete floor. Whoever built this addition on this house, which was off grade, putting down concrete foundation, and it's nowhere near level. He has a zinc barrier and plywood on top of that, and he tried to level that plywood the best he could, but there was a couple spots that you couldn't do anything with. So it's not bad, but let's just put it this way: if you put a golf ball in the middle of the room, it rolls to the lowest point. So, but the measurement was like 1/8 of an inch or something like that, the dip. So I think that was a rule of thumb, was 1/8 of an inch was close enough for house dimensions. So, but on a floor it should be dead level. It's not. So just don't play golf in there, I guess. And yeah, we always had hardwood floors, and every house I've lived in or owned has had a hardwood floor. That must have been a lot of oak trees back then, but used to that red oak and white oak, and it's amazing. The bundles, I forget, 24 bundles of red oak, and how many bad boards were in it. Split tongues, split grooves, split down the middle, the whole board. Some of the boards, they didn't cut the groove on the end, so you couldn't hook them together. And that had to be a starter, or one that you would have to, it had to be a starter because you don't have any joint there on the starting point. So we worked around it, and we found where we could use the bad boards where we needed them, and I think he's got 2 bundles of them, so maybe 2 and a half, I don't know. But anyway, so he's finally got that done. That's been hanging over his head, and due to the amount of space it was close to, the whole room's about 20 by 30, and he'd already done the closet, and finished up with the main room. So I took some pictures, but I was going to send them because Steve said send pictures. So when I hooked my phone up to the darn computer, it wouldn't find the device. It told me the device was not working properly, so I couldn't get the darn pictures off the phone. I might take another camera over there and take a shot there. So we had this done, and of course the cliff on the yard I haven't been able to cut. Yesterday would have been the perfect day to cut. It wasn't really that hot. It was hot, but it wasn't really that hot. And everything had dried out. But like you and the rest of you, it's been raining at least once a day. Sometimes a day, make it just too difficult to cut because my mower is not powerful enough to clear the chute or the or the mowing deck there, because it'll all pack up with wet grass where I got to stop and scrape it. So I'm waiting. Maybe today's the day. We'll see. I'll go around again with Dave, WA4LLR, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, time this. W4MEC, WA4LR. All righty. Everybody's sounding good. George, you're the strongest I've seen. You're pushing 20 over on occasion. Main conditions seem to be good. Sun spot count's 86, solar flux index is 150 in the case 3. Two items from this day in history. On this day in 1897, Amelia Earhart was born. This is kind of on this day in 1933, Keystone Camp, a girls' camp in Florida, began its first Christmas in July celebration. A tradition that has been across the years still continues. On this day in 1847, the Mormons settled in Salt Lake Valley. On this day in 1915, the steamer Eastland overturned the Chicago River, drowning approximately 860 people. On this day in 1969, Apollo 11 safely returned to Earth. And on this day in 1943, Operation Tomorrow was launched. And this was a British bombing raid on Hamburg, Germany. They launched, let's see, how many aircraft did they launch? 791 aircraft. They only lost 12, and they attributed that to the new radar jamming device called Winda, which was dropping strips of aluminum foil to confuse the German radar. I want to sign on this one. I've got an appointment this morning. Charlie, thanks for calling it. I'll say 7-3, God bless, and hope to see a lot of you guys at Waynesville this week. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, WB4ARK. Okay, Dave, and thanks, Richard, for the comment on the audio. I wasn't asking for anything specific, just how it basically sounded. Didn't have to have any, well, we'll forget that. Anyhow, the rain here has been non-existent. We're not getting any rain. We're not even getting any thunder. We're not getting anything. So I don't know when we'll get some rain. It doesn't. It's not even looking in the forecast. So I don't know what to say. The yard is in pretty desolate condition right now. So we'll keep hoping for some wet weather to come this way. It's been a very strange summer with no rain at all, and the yard being as dry as it is. If it wasn't for the irrigation, I don't know what we would do. We would just let it burn up and hope that it'll go into dormancy and then come back out when we get some water on it. Sun is bright out there, and there's not any clouds in the sky in this area toward the west. So I guess that means there's none over toward the east, which, like I say, I cannot see the east from here. I think that's about it for right now. John, your signal is really good today, crisp, clear, and as most everybody else's signal is the same way. So the band is in very good condition here. There's no noise and no atmospherics. So over to John, KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK in the group, KZ4B, fine business, buddy. Yeah, band conditions on average are quite good today. There's heavy QS Baker. Signals are going from ridiculously strong to non-existent in some cases, but on average, signals are doing quite well, and the noise level is not outlandish as usual. So I'm very happy about that. Again, your audio sounds quite good, buddy, on the, I guess it's audio module in the ART13. They're just great sounding rigs no matter what. And I'm always amazed by the little, they call it a kryptonite modulation transformer. Whenever I've operated an ART13, I would melt the tar in the modulation transformer and get a lot of talk back. So I'd always mount a fan on the back, blowing on the modulation transformer. The tar wouldn't melt and there was no talk back. So, you know, at 100 watts, you don't really have that problem, but I usually would run about 1700 or 1800 volts, and so it was closer to 200 watts than 100 watts, which was really pushing things as far as the modulation transformer was concerned. And I'd always run, while I'm on the subject, would always run a Svetlana 811A, which has an amplification factor of 200 on the peak side, and on the low side I'd run the softest, weakest 811A I could find, and that would create a nice offset for plenty of modulation without splatter. So that's about all I've got here. Conditions are a little weird. The band definitely seems to be long, and I'm getting a lot of, it sounds like sideband, but I don't know if it's an audio QSO nearby and I'm just getting the edge of it, or if it's actually a sideband net. I haven't tuned down to here, but normally they don't come through quite as strong as they are today. But since everybody else is so very strong, it really isn't making that much difference as far as hurting. So, over to Steve, N4LQ in the group, KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, N4LQ. Yeah, John, your signal faded up to 40 over. I mean, you were like S9, and there at the end you went way up. So I guess the band's getting better. I don't know. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, let's see, buddy. I forgot to give you an audio report, but I'll say your modulation percentage is over 100%. The audio quality is warm, mellow, and articulate. How's that for an audio report? No complaints. I'm anxiously awaiting the mailman to bring me 5 binocular ferrite cores, and I only need 1, but I'm making a 9-to-1 balun for my loop on the ground antenna, which so far hasn't proven very impressive. I've got the antenna on the ground, and I've lashed together a temporary balun, and it's pretty much what you would expect from having an antenna on the ground. I'll say that. Everything's weak. But we'll try that, and then if that doesn't work, I'm going to move it up up off the ground about 10 feet and try it there. I'm doing this in a attempt to improve my copy ability on 160 at night. Which reminds me, don't forget the net tonight. We had a good time last night on 160, and there was just 4 of us, but good conversation and excellent band conditions with few lightning crashes. It was very quiet last night. And I'll say this about the electric fence noise Charlie brought up, that I used to have it here every day on 75 meters from a farm down the road, but since I put the loop up, I haven't heard it. I have not heard it since, so I don't know if it went away or I just don't hear it, but anyway, it's gone. So Charlie, fine on the 3-disc sander. Never heard of that, but I'd be afraid of trying to use one on the floor I just did. And that sounds pretty rough. Kind of remind me of the 3-blade Norelco shaver, how much better a job it did. So let's hope it doesn't nick and pull like the shavers do sometimes. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and I won't say 73s yet, but to those that have left 73s, and I'll turn it over to George, and I copied you okay last time, George. K4GDN, N4LQ.
K4GDN. I'm copying everybody fine. There is some QSP. I think it was work on blend, but I probably about 80 or 90% of him. And that is the ART 14 audio sounds just fine. I really don't notice any difference between it and any of the others you've got. And I'm beginning to wonder about my grass too. We were out of town last week, and I'm not sure if they're cutting or not. Normally they do it once a week. We've had a little bit of rain here. Last night, and I think the night before, or early in the morning, before daylight, it looks like it's a little bit. But the grass is green, but it hasn't come up all that much. Anyway, maybe they'll come around here sometime in the next day or so and we'll see what's going on. But the band does seem to be pretty good this morning. And like I say, I'm running the Model Max. I guess I'm running it through the attenuator and into the Homebrew 11, running about 125 watts. So again, copying everybody fairly well here. So with that, I'll pass it on to Chris. WB4NKL and the K4GDN.
Okay, George, K4GDN, it's WB4NKL. Well, the van has swapped back to normal. Still copied you, George, but you were way down from the previous transmission, and Steve was up to 20 and 40 dB over. So and it was just about the opposite the last go around, so that's kind of weird. But like I say, back to almost normal here now on the conditions. Getting ready for Waynesville. I was looking at the weather for over there. It's looking good Saturday. Sun up till about 2 or 3 o'clock in the evening. That sounds like, or afternoon, and only up to about 80, 82 there by 12, which will probably be out of there by 12. So looking forward to that. I got to get some stuff together for it. John, I think what you're hearing was there's a AM group on 3725. I noticed them a little bit here, but I tuned up, and I think that's what you're hearing there on the spillover. Guess I'll go ahead and make this the last one and get out and start walking before it gets any warmer. And enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Charlie. And I think Stan checked out, but I'm not positive. Go ahead, Stan, if you're still there. If not, I believe it goes to Glenn. It's WB4NKL.
Yeah, I think Stan checked out. I'm going to release and double check. Yeah, this is N4AK. All right. Well, George, you were still very copyable here at sunset. Just band conditions are kind of strange. And the house that we have here in Sunset has all oak floors. And there was some scatter rugs around. But we've taken those up because we've got one of those robot sweepers and vacuums. I bought one of those things, and this thing also mops the floors. So my daughter's into computers, so she pushes the button, and that thing comes in the kitchen, mops the floors, sucks up all the trash, and then about once a week, or every 10 days, we let it to the house. Those things are remarkable. It goes back parks and gets more water to mop. Anyway, yesterday while on 20 meters, I noticed that my rotor would only go halfway. So thank goodness it's the half that points toward Europe. I bought that rotor in about 1975, so it's about a 50-year-old rotor. So boy, I can't complain. And I usually, with a rotor, even if I don't have a lot, I'll at least once a month go up and rotate it just to be sure the wipers stay clean. But I've neglected to do that. It's been wet weather, and so I suspect the wipers lost contact about halfway. But I can't complain. High gain, 50 years. So, there you go. Let's see. Any more comments? I believe I've got all the comments checked off here. Nice to hear everybody this morning. So, and my FTDX10 that I'm on this morning, it absolutely does not hear any of that side QRM, but every other rig that I've had picks it up, and those guys down in Georgia get on, they're just broad as a barn, and they splatter all over the place. So there you go. Richard to you, W4MU and 4AK.
Okay, M4AK in the group, W4W. Thank you, Glenn. Well, some good comments this morning, interesting things. Several things here. I'm on my Viking Valiant 2 that I got from Joe, that went to Billy, that went to Lee, around and around, ended up with me. So I'm on that this morning. Receiving on the Helicrafters R274D. That's the same contract as the Hammerland SP600, which is also an R274. And there's a military contract, and both of them produce radios on that contract, and I have one of each. I like the way that both of them look, and they both of them perform about the same. Steve, I'll have to tell you about my saga with the HRO 60. I had recapped it and put a new coil pack in it, and everything was working fine. I had not replaced the disc caps in it. I just took out all the paper caps, and it was working good. And so, in my infinite wisdom, I said, well, I believe I'll replace those disc caps too. I replaced them all. I should have checked them each one as I replaced them, but oh no, I was gung-ho and just did them all, and turned it back on, could hardly hear anything. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to have to go back and recheck all that and see what's going on, but it's still a work in progress. It looks good, and when it's working, it sounds real good, but that's what I've been working on. Let's see here, anything else? I don't see anything right offhand. I look forward to seeing everybody up at Waynesville Saturday, and we're going to go from there on up to Pigeon Forge for a couple of days. Come on back during the hardest part of the year. Probably going to burn up. But anyway, I have been working on, I picked up, Spartanburg Radio Club had a Henry 3K estate sale, and I bought it, brought it home, and it was beautiful amplifier. But I never could get it to work on the upper bands properly. The power I get almost 2,000 watts out on 80 and 40, but like up on 15 and 10, it'd be down to below 1,000, and I don't know what's going on with it. So anyway, long story short, I took it up to, met a guy from up around Mount Airy, and I met him up at Charlotte, well actually in there, in Belmont, North Carolina yesterday morning, and it's up there in Mount Airy now, and now he can have fun playing with it. So anyway, that's the story on the 3K. I don't know, I might get me a TL922 and replace it with it, I'm not sure. I've got the 500 watt Elecraft ampo here that I use with the K4D. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump out of here. I enjoyed listening to all of you this morning, as usual. Look forward to seeing some of you up at the Western North Carolina Ham Fest. And with that, I'll say 7-3. Charlie, back to you. W4MEC, W4W, 7-3, guys.
Charlie, could I have it for a moment in 4AK?
Go ahead, Glenn.
Richard, Phil, W9IXX, has a TL922 for sale. I had talked to him about it, and I had played with buying it, but I have a TL922, but mine's an A version. I was just going to swap, but I don't need that thing, so he's got it at a good price. So if you can get in contact with Phil, W9IXX, you're welcome to go ahead and make a bid on it. He's got a good price listed there. So do you roger that, Richard, W4MU in 4AK?
Yeah, Roger, Glenn. Well, I've already been talking to Phil, so I am very aware of it. And so I'll probably be picking it up Monday on our way back home from Tennessee. Yeah, he and I have talked about it. I have a brand new set of tubes I bought for the Henry, so I'll put those in it probably, and that sort of thing. I've had them before, so I'm familiar with it. But yeah, thank you anyway. But yeah, Phil and I have already been talking about it. 7-3.
Very good. I was worried. I think I failed to send him an email. I didn't push the button, but I had talked to him about it. But just let him know I'm certainly out of the game now because I got my other one operating, and it's a great amp. So I just didn't communicate with him. So that'll be great. Back to net. N4, W4MEC N4AK.
Okay, Glenn, N4AK in the group, W4MEC. Someone wanted his phone number. I don't know if that got relayed. I actually got his phone numbers off the roster, but I don't know about the home phone being good because he's moved since this roster was printed. But he's got his cell phone on there, and his email is just his call sign at ARRL.net. Get that out. It's W4MEC and the old friends. Do we have any late check-ins that would like to join us? Come now.
Yeah, can you send me your cell phone number?
Yeah, I'll email it to you.
Thank you very much. N4AK.
Okay, W4MEC and the old friends. Real good, fellas. Good around there. Cliff and Stan have checked out, but we got time to go around for 73 around here, and then we'll shut her down. I was looking at my email. I got one of my emails I use is there are 16 emails in there from Green Keys. Green Keys is a website dedicated, or actually a forum dedicated to teletype machines, and normally there's not much traffic there, but over the last day I got 16 messages of people. Mostly somebody had trouble with a machine. Every time you typed a character, he would get a line feed, and another guy was trying to change a transistor in I think a Model 33. So he was getting a lot of help. So those folks, and each of those emails had 3 or 4 comments on either why they were getting the carriage, a line feed with each character and changing the transistor. So I don't know if he solved his problem or not, but there was a lot of input. And if you're into teletype, Green Keys is a pretty interesting group there. And there's a worldwide network of people that run teletype machines on the internet. And there's a couple sites that have simulated news feeds where you can hook your machine up with the appropriate adapter to the internet in your computer, and you can get your machine cranking out 60, 7,500 words a minute, I guess, and have them clank away for nostalgia sake and the sound of it there. The smell of the teletype oil and the ink and the paper. So all roll paper. I've got a couple rolls. It's all yellow now, but it still works. Anyway, that's a story on those fellas. So what else we got here? Interesting about the Henry and the high band having no power. Usually it's that's kind of, or was it the other way around? The low band having no power. I don't remember now, but and usually you see that with the high band in where the tubes aren't up to snuff on at 30 megs or something. But anyway, I had a 2K floor mounted 2K. And I really liked that amp, and there was a fellow here on the net years ago, and when I wanted to get rid of it, he bought it up in Asheville, and he checked in a couple times after that, but then he disappeared. So it's interesting. I've always wondered where all these fellows that are still with us have. I guess they lost interest in AM and moved on, but there was a lot of them, and one of them we haven't heard lately is Don N4UB. Hope he's doing okay. So, but a lot of fellows out there that were regular check-ins that are still on the air mostly and don't make it anymore. So maybe my deodorant's too weak. So let's get around with 73 round, and we'll move on the rest of the day here. WA4LLR in the group. W4, let me see.
Charlie, check me out.
Okay, how about ARK?
This is WB4 ARK. Am I up?
Hey, go ahead, buddy.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything else to add. I was interested in teletype many years ago, but never did do anything about it. But it's an interesting system. I probably wish I had done more to get into teletype, get a unit, and get it on the air. There's not that much to it, but it would have been nice to have one at one point in time. Those days are kind of over now. I'm going to say 73, and thanks, Charlie, for calling the net. I hope your son gets his floor sanded without any issues. It's interesting about the transition of the sanders. The sander I had was back in 1966, 1965, something like that. So it was pretty ancient. I'll say 73, and everybody have a great rest of this week, and stay cool. So over to John, KZ4B, WB4ARK.
Okay, WB4ARK in the group. This is KZ4B, Fine Business Buddy. If anybody's interested in a really nice looking Henry 23500Zs, I'm not sure which one, but it's the floor model. It's in great shape. It's 80 through 15. I don't think it has the 10 meter modification. You can steal it, and it's going to go to Berryville. ND4S is selling it for a friend of his, and I don't think they're gonna. They just want to move it on. They're not gonna to see how much money they can make. So if you want a Henry, that might be a good way to get the floor model. Shifting gears, I spent 8 months in Malaysia, and I would go to Singapore for R&R. And I ordered a Kenwood TL922, the international model that does not have 10 meters missing. It's 160 through 10, and it's the only one I've ever seen. And I ordered it on one R&R trip to Singapore and picked it up later when I came back, because I had to order it from Japan. And the tubes were insanely expensive, so I ordered the amplifier less tubes, and when I got back home I ordered IMAX, which were much cheaper than trying to buy them overseas. And I'm sitting here looking at it. It's a beautiful amplifier, and when I try to get it through customs in these overseas places, they don't want you to have, even if you've got an American ham license, they don't want you to have an amplifier. So I passed it off as a stereo amplifier, because the thing weighs, you know, like 60 plus pounds in the box. And it said amplifier in big letters on the box. In fact, I think it said linear, but it didn't say, you know, like ham radio or anything like that. But and it was much cheaper than if I tried to buy it here. I think I paid $800 for the amplifier, less tubes, when here it was $1,200 with tubes at least. And but they're nice amps, not quite as husky as an AL82, but very well made. And I added the measures modification because the only downside with that amp is it tends to oscillate with parasitics if you don't do the modification. And but the modification killed it, the parasitics. Great amp, but I've never seen one stateside or anywhere else for that matter that had 10 meters, and I've got it. Let's see. Thanks for calling the net, Charlie. And let's see. There was something else. I can't remember what it is. Hope everybody has a great week, and we will looking forward to the luncheon, which I think is not this Friday, but maybe next Friday. And we are going to Berryville, and we will be going with Mike and the guy with the linear, with the Henry. Steve, over to you. N4LQ in the group, KZ4B clear but listening.
Okay. KZ4B, N4LQ. Very good. Yeah, I was just looking at the membership on our group email. We got 51 members to the Old Friends email group. I don't know where they're all at. It's just amazing. Anyhow, okay on RIDI teletype, Charlie, and I've done some of that, but I like Hellscriber better than any of them. It writes and doesn't print, and of course you got to use a computer to do it. But the thing about it is, when you get QR Nancy or QSB, all that does is sort of distort the writing, so it's a little, funny looking or ghostly looking or something, but it's still there. That's that's the neat thing about it with teletype. You just lose everything. So I thought I'd throw that in. Anyhow, John, I think the luncheon is on Thursday, so you might keep that in mind. And looking forward to seeing you here whenever that is. Let's see, this is the 24th, so it's coming up pretty soon. I think it is week after next. Anyhow, I'll go ahead and say 73s and turn it over to George, K4GDN, N4LQ.
Radio watchers. We didn't have anything else for me to do. I was the only EP on the ship, only electronic tech on the ship, but I had me standing radio watching. And that was just how it was back then. And speaking of the Kenwood 922As, I have an A which I've had probably over 30 years. It has a 10-meter mod made by, it was done by Fritz N4AK before I got it. And I really like it. It's the only linear I've got that covers 160. The Drake L4B only goes down to 80. Of course, it covers 10, but the Kenwood 922A covers 160, and mine goes all the way up to 10. I've been very pleased with it, and the tubes in it, I've got Omax in it, and they're the ones I put in it probably 30 years ago. I haven't used it all that much, but I always do enjoy using it. And let's see, anything else around here this morning? I can't think of it. And Charlie, thanks for calling the net. Appreciate it. And maybe I'll be in here. I don't know if I'll get in Sunday, but I'll probably be in next Tuesday. So I think everybody else is going, but I'll pass it on to Glenn in case he's still there.
Yeah, George, K4GDN and 4AK. Still copying you great. It's like we got a pipeline. It's crazy. Anyway, and John, W9IXX has a TL922 that has 160 through 10 meters. So they did sell them here in the States, I believe. But, and the one I have is a TL922 Alpha. It was sold during the time when the CBs won out and we lost the 10-meter band. So anyway, there you go. And Charlie, Don, N4UB, who's a high school classmate of mine down in Blakely, he's doing okay. The band conditions just got so bad, and then he's got a problem with his rig. The meter went out on him that he reads everything, so he's kind of operating in the blind, and he's just operating CW. But the band conditions were so that it wasn't very good. I took him a linear, but he never fooled around and put it on the air, I think. But I try to get him to call in from time to time, but he's got a lot of noise also. Somebody moved in one of those new modern washing machines, I think. So I'm going to try to send him one of these 1026 MFJs down there to him. Maybe that'll help him out. So let's see. I'm not sure if Cliff is in here. I know Stan is out. Richard's probably here. WB4NKL, if not, Richard is to you. This is N4AK.
Yeah, I'm in here, still here. I switched over to my other rig. The dial key relay was sticking on my vacuum valiant too. So I missed a lot of that after I signed a while ago, and I had to reach around the back and tap it to make it come back to receive. So anyway, I'll say 7.3. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, Phil and I have already talked, and I'll probably go get his. 7.3, y'all. Back to you, Charlie. W4MEC, W4W.
Okay, Richard, W4MEC. That rig here, that rig you switched to is really loud. I think the mod might be a little high. You probably haven't checked it. And a little bit of buzz on it, but your signal was so strong, you know how it is, and normally you hear everything. And as you faded down on the QSB, you sounded more normal, so it might have been just loud, very loud here today. So anyway, so very good. Thanks for everybody that checked in today. We'll look for you on Sunday afternoon. Don't forget about 160 if you can do it. And I also have a TL922 with the 10-meter mod kit that I put in it, and well, whatever, just had to move some wires around, add a wire or something, and main reason I got it is because it has 160 meters, so very few amps had 160 from that era, so I was glad to have it. So y'all take it easy and try and hope you get the rain if you need it, and try and stay cool if you got to work outside. 7-3 all, thanks for checking in today. It's W4MEC, shutting down the old